The growth of an organization is defined by how it cultivates its next generation. The acquisition and development of young talent breathes life. For the Rangers in athletics, the return on investment is displaying its hallmark.
Oh, look at that. Good gracious. Gone!
The results captivate the mind and tease the imagination. Tonight, baseball offers a glimpse of the future of the game.
Rangers baseball presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. At the Oakland Coliseum tonight, middle game of this three-game series, Rangers and A's, and yeah, a lot of great young talent in this series and represented tonight, hoping for some good baseball at the Coliseum. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond alongside Tom Grieve, and it is kind of fun when these teams get together. A lot of great young players. Oakland right now, one of the great stories in baseball. The Rangers, though, they're looking for a win first and foremost. They ran into some trouble last night in Mike Fiers. Today, they get a left-hander in Brett Anderson, and lefties have been tough.
Yeah, and Brett Anderson's been tough. He's been pitching really well lately. He had a good start back in July against the Rangers as well. In that game, he pitched 6 innings. He only gave up a couple of runs. He's not overpowering with his fastball. He's got a really good curveball, good idea how to work the hitters. He had 6 strikeouts in this game. He's had 3 August starts, and his ERA is 0.92. He's only walked 3 batters in his last 35 innings. He's been throwing the ball really well. The A's are 12-4 in August, and they've done it with superb starting pitching. The top 5 August ERA leaders, 3 of them are A's. Brett Anderson, Edwin Jackson lead the pack. Mike Fiers is 5th with a 1.33 ERA. Last 18 games, the A's starters are 10-2 with a 2.12 ERA. Opposing the A's tonight will be Ariel Jurado. His last 2 starts have been a little bit of a struggle, 6 earned runs in each one of them. Prior to that, though, in 2 starts, he'd only given up 3 earned runs in 11 innings for a 2.45 ERA. He'll be trying to regroup tonight after 2 subpar starts. Hopefully he'll pitch like he did in those previous 2 starts when he threw the ball really well.
Well, any good starting pitcher is going to tell you that a defense can make a big difference. And we've seen some great play from some young guys on the corners. We'll put them in the spotlight when we come back.
Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Well, back here in Oakland for the middle game of this 3-game series. Beautiful evening here by the bay. And we're talking about our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight as we went to break. How about some of these young corner infielders?
Yeah, let's start with Jurickson Profar, who's been making some nice plays at the hot corner. He turned a triple play in Texas, made another nice play. He's 25 years old. The Condor, Ronald Guzman, at first base, has been playing great defense, snaring balls like that, picking them out of the dirt. And the A's, they've got two guys that are pretty good too. Matt Chapman has already established himself as one of the elite third basemen. See him making a play from shortstop right there. And at first base, Matt Olson has done a terrific job. You really need a good first baseman, Dave, in Oakland, to keep balls from going past him into foul territory for extra bases. Olson's done a great job of that. Chapman already recognized as an elite defensive player at third base. So 4 guys, 2 third basemen, 2 first basemen, all 4 under the age of 25, and all 4 of them playing some nice defense right now.
They are really fun to watch, and I really like the point, though, about a first baseman and this foul territory here. You know, it's not just all the young guys, though. Adrian Beltre, a little bit older gentleman, and he's known to play a little defense, too. Leslie McCaslin, more on him.
Yeah, after getting the last 2 days off, he's back in the lineup at DH. The plan is for him to play tonight and, of course, tomorrow. And he's dealing with that aggravated hamstring for the 3rd time this season. And he asked yesterday if he thought about shutting it down for the rest of the season. And when they asked him, he looked incredulous. Shut it down? Why? There's only 5 weeks left in the regular season. So he will tough it out, guys. Finish the season. He said he is not making a decision about his future until the season is over. Jeff Bannister wants him to play as much as possible, but he said he doesn't see him playing on defense on a regular basis here in San Francisco, guys.
Yeah, and that's going to mean limited playing time for him against the Giants this weekend, and we'll get into more of that a little bit later. Rangers looking to get something going offensively tonight. They had a tough time last night, and Brett Anderson strikes out Chu on 3 pitches to start the ball game tonight. All right, let's look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. Chu just struck out. Rougned Odor batting second, playing second. Andrus, Mazzara, Beltre right in the heart of things. Profar, Ronald Guzman at first, Kiner Falefa catching, and Carlos Tocci, the center fielder, rounds it out.
A good start for Brett Anderson. Talked about in the open the nice start that he had against the Rangers in Texas. Struck out 6 in 6 innings. He's been throwing the ball really well. Last 7 starts since he came off the disabled list, 2-1 with a 2.48 ERA. And really, when you talk disabled list, that really has been the hardest thing for him to overcome as a big leaguer ever since he broke in as a 21-year-old with the A's. He's shown a lot of promise, but he's had a hard time staying healthy for any consistent length of time.
That was 1-0 to Odor. Finds a corner for a strike to count 1-1. He had been on the disabled list some 10 times prior to this season. And as you mentioned, once again this year. But it seemed like once he came off the DL this time, that, you know, maybe just good health, maybe it's coincidence. He's been really sharp since then. 2-1.
Another example of Rugi developing the ability to lay off that pitch. Breaking ball down and away, tempting pitch. Difference between being behind in the count 1-2 or being ahead 2-1.
Ground ball right side, and this one will be picked up by the second baseman Lowry. 1 away, or rather 2 away.
And we'll take a look at the Shiner pitch arsenal for Brett Anderson. He'll throw a sinking fastball 30% of the time, 4-seam fastball 20% of the time. Throws a lot of sliders. He's got a pretty good changeup and occasionally a curveball. But the name of his game right now is command of his pitches, keeping the ball down, getting ground balls with his sinker, which he just did there to Rugi. And when he's doing that, you see the results that he's been getting. Last 3 August starts, his 3 starts in August, his last 3 starts, he's had 2 starts where he didn't give up a run, 1 where he gave up 2 runs, so 2 runs in 19 2/3 innings. Got it going pretty well right now.
Part of the story for these Oakland A's, guys like Brett Anderson, Mike Fiers yesterday, Trevor Cahill, who have been so important for this team. Here we've spent some time. We've seen a little bit of Oakland in this second half. We've spent some time talking about their bullpen and how great it has been and how they have decided to build around that bullpen and try and make this run in the second half. It's worked out for them quite well. And that's a real disservice to the starting pitching. Even though it's an unusual bunch, maybe that people did not see prior to the year, they've been very good. And especially lately. I think the last 18 games. And their starters have yielded 2 or fewer runs 15 times. And there's a swing and a miss. It's a 1-2-3 top of the first inning for Brett Anderson. So he picks up where Fiers left off yesterday. And now Ariel Jurado to go to work. Oakland will take their hacks. Taking a look at their starting lineup today. Oakland, by the way, 25 games over 500, and they'll start it off with Nick Martini in left field, Matt Chapman at third, Jed Lowry at second base. In the heart of the order, it's Davis, Olson, Piscotty. Bottom third, Marcus Semien at short, Ramon Laureano in center field, and Josh Phegley does the catching tonight. That is against Jurado, making his 6th start of the year. 2 wins, 2 losses, and an ERA of 6.41. His first offering right in there for a strike. Now Nick Martini, you can see the numbers this year for him, and he pokes this one right past third base, and he is on to start the bottom of the first. Chu gathers it up quickly though and holds Martini to a single.
Take a look at our Shiner pitch arsenal for Ariel Jurado. A lot of two-seam fastballs. He depends on that ball sinking and being down. Four-seam fastball only occasionally. In addition to his fastball, he'll mix in some sliders, some changeups, and an occasional curveball. But what we've seen from Ariel in his last 4 starts, and a couple of those starts, 2 starts ago, he was throwing the sinker well, and he was getting ground balls. Last couple of starts, though, he's gotten it up a little bit, and he's been hurt. In New York against the Yankees, he gave up 4 home runs, and then against the Angels, in our ballpark, he gave up 6 runs in 6 innings. So it's a matter of command with him. He's not overpowering to the point where he can miss his location. He depends on that.
Chopper third, and Profar makes a real nice play to get Chapman 1 away. Martini moves up to second base.
Yeah, a good look at Jurickson making that play on the run. You got a nice luxury in this series with the 2 first basemen, both of them 6'4", 6'5". Great target to throw to. Both can pick the ball out of the dirt. both of them have saved a number of errors from their infielders. Such a nice thing to have as an infielder. You don't have to worry about being perfect. Just get it in the general direction of either one of those guys and they'll catch it.
Now with one away, here is Jed Lowry. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Lowry having another good offensive year. And that one a little bit wide. Now he is hitless in his last 9 at-bats. Yesterday, the Rangers held him in check. He was 0 for 2, but had a couple of walks. Already career highs this year in home runs and RBIs. And this one softly into center field. That's a base hit. Martini around third base, and he will score without a throw. Lowry did not do a lot with that one. Just enough to get it over the infield, and it made for basically an impossible play at the plate. And it's 1-0 Oakland.
Well, actually, as far as getting the man in from second and getting an RBI, you're better off hitting it like that. You hit a little ball right off the end of the bat. A little blooper over Elvis's head, but it's hit so slowly, there's nothing Tocci can do by the time he gets to it. Martini's already rounded third base and is going to score easily on that little soft blooper to center field by Lowry.
Well, picks up his 77th RBI, and now Chris Davis, chopper at third base. Profar will make the play to first. Just not hit hard enough to do much more with it, so 2 away, but Lowry now at second base.
The Ranger defense is delivered to you by Methodist Health System. Shin-Soo Choo moves over to left field while Nomar is playing in right field. Carlos Tocci gets the start against the left-hander in center field. Jurickson Profar is at third. At first base is Ronald Guzman. Up the middle, as usual, Elvis and Rugi. Behind the plate, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Elvis, I mean, game time temperature today was 64 degrees. Ground ball right side, Odor way out of the grass, and he will throw out Olsen to end the inning. 64 degrees, you need the air flaps. Of course you do. Hayes with the early lead.
After one, the A's lead the Rangers 1-0, and it's time for the A's defense, sponsored by Jack in the Box tonight. Nick Martini, Ramon Laureano hit 2 home runs last night. Stephen Piscotty's in right. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson in the corners. Marcus Semien, J.D. Lowry up the middle. And behind the plate tonight, Josh Phegley gets the start.
Well, now the Rangers go back to work in this second inning. Down 1-0. Anderson wasting little time. And dumps that one in there. It's 1-1 to Mazzara. Nomar 1 for 4 yesterday with a double, and it came in the second inning. It was the only hit the Rangers would get off A's starter Mike Fiers.
I think Anderson is probably in one of the better grooves of his career since he first came up with the A's. He threw a little bit harder back then. As far as making pitches, he's cruising right now. He's walked 1 or less in his last 6 starts, 3 walks in his last 35 innings. So he's had impeccable command and excellent results as well.
Full count on Nomar. Well, Anderson, very much a veteran pitcher. 30 years old and originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Second round pick in 2006. And there's strike 3 call. Dumps that one in there, and he has 3 strikeouts right out of the gate. We'll bring up Adrian Beltre. And Adrian is our TXU Energy Power player to watch.
29, Adrian Beltre.
And some decent numbers against Brett Anderson. A couple of home runs there. An OPS over 1,000 for Adrian. Anderson, after being drafted by the Diamondbacks, was not long for the organization. Traded following the next season and the Dan Herron deal that saw Herron go to Arizona. It's one of 6 players that Oakland got in that deal. Made his debut with the A's several years later in 2009. He was just 21 years old. And a swing and a miss. Makes the count 1-2. Since then, Anderson, though, has moved around a little bit. He's pitched with the Rockies, the Dodgers, the Cubs. Yeah, play by a fan. There you go. Bring the glove, make a play. And make a friend,
I'll say. Throw for him is catching it, not keeping it. You're such a good guy. I'm going to pay you.
Man.
I say, hey, cool. Thanks, man, for taking that ball from me. Just made me some money.
The other guy, that might have been protection money. High fly ball out to right field. Piscotty near the line. 2 away. And maybe he was paying him, hey, man, thanks for saving me from getting drilled by that ball.
Maybe.
Well, Rangers Dodgers August 28th and 29th. Coming up, a little 2-game interleague series. Great seats still available, and you can get your tickets at texasrangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. So this weekend interleague play in San Francisco, and then only to return home and continue interleague play. Final 2 games against the Dodgers this year, and Anderson just does shave off the outside corner for a strike. Ground ball, shortstop, and Simeon positioned well. Completes a 1-2-3 inning for Brett Anderson. So he is off and running tonight, and Oakland leads 1-0.
no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right.
All right, 1-0 Oakland leads, and now they will bat here in the second. Ariel Jurado, interesting, only used 9 pitches in that first inning. They're up there hacking tonight, these A's. And on the first pitch, Piscotty flies out to right, 1 away.
Now, we've talked a lot about the A's pitching, especially recent pitching. Their starting pitching has been terrific the last 3 weeks. Their offense hasn't been that bad either. They've been swinging the bats really well. A lot of extra base hits. Look at the best OPS numbers since the All-Star break. Chris Davis, Matt Chapman are both in the top 5. Rugi's 7th. So the A's just really have been a well-balanced all-around team. It's not one facet of their game. Everything is solid. Nothing is #1 in the league. It's not the best offense. It's not the best pitching. It's not the best defense. But they're all upper echelon. And when you put it all together, Bob Melvin is definitely getting great performance. Sum of the parts is definitely much greater than the individual pieces.
Well, with their win last night, they pulled into a tie for the division lead with Houston. Second time they've done that here in the last handful of days. And they haven't been able to push Houston down behind them yet in the standings, but that is certainly on their agenda tonight or this week. This one rolled toward third base. Profar. Whoa! Throws a little high, and Guzman, as big as he is and long as he is, couldn't quite stretch far enough. And so he had to leave the bag to bring that one in, and that'll be an error on Jurickson Profar.
Batting in the 8th position, the center fielder.
I would have to say that, you know, we've talked about Jurickson's defense, and he's playing really well defensively. Occasionally, though, the one problem that he has is accuracy, and it's generally on throws where he has plenty of time. You can almost see him thinking about making an accurate throw. The ball sailed on him, and even the Condor couldn't make the play on it. So that's one thing that he's going to have to get under control, is good, solid, accurate throws on the routine plays. When he's pressed for time and can't think about it, generally he seems to throw it over there pretty accurately. And most of the time he does on the routine plays as well. Just occasionally one will get away from him like that one did.
And that's not uncommon, right? I mean, there are a lot of infielders who have
no,
that same
I can
issue.
remember when Elvis first came up, and that was one thing that Wash was working with him consistently, trying to find that arm slot to make the routine throw.
Laureano had a big day yesterday at the plate and lashes that one through into left. A's have first and second, 1 out.
You know, Elvis went through a period of time where he was trying to throw him softly. He was trying to throw him hard, overhand, 3/4, just trying to find that way to make the comfortable, accurate throw. And eventually it came to him, and now it's automatic on the routine play. Sounds like a simple thing, but it's really not.
Well, a couple of base runners, and Josh Begley takes one on the outside corner for a strike. Begley, the 9th place hitter. Very good defensive catcher. He's done a nice job for them this year, filling in here and there. Whoa, a pickoff play. Oh, messy out there.
Got a break, though. Could have easily gone into center field. I think it hit Simeon. And hit Simeon in the leg. Otherwise, it would have gone right into center field. Kind of a hesitation by Jurado, and looked like he wasn't going to throw it, and decided to.
So Jurado, this one fouled away. The count 0-2. Jurado with that good heavy sinker. Good at getting ground balls. That's been a the staple of his young career. And with Fegley at the plate, if he could get him to hit one on the ground, you'd think he'd have a really good shot at a double play and getting out of this inning. And there is a ball on the ground. Andrews to Odor one on the first, double play. 6-4-3, and the inning is done. Now the great advantage of those sinker ball pitchers.
Well, you were talking about a ground ball, and you couldn't get an easier one. The little flip. Ruge comes from down under, making sure the slide was down. And they complete the double play to end the inning.
One nothing early on here, and as we look ahead to the next homestand already, Wednesday, August 29th, Rangers and Dodgers. It'll be another Texas Chili Company dollar hot dog night. You get your tickets at texasrangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Baseball and $1 hot dogs against the Dodgers. Seems appropriate enough. Third inning here. Anderson has retired the first 6 he has faced and competes now against Ronald Guzman. Low for ball one. Anderson, 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. A couple of outs on the ground. The left-hander has been pitching tonight with a lot of conviction as well. Well, he gets that ball back and he's set to go.
Definitely.
He and Fegley come to a quick agreement on a pitch, but that one misses. 2-1. And Fegley not the everyday guy. Jonathan Lucroy gets most of the work here behind the plate, but Fegley's done a really good job, in particular holding base runners. Well, so far tonight that has not been an issue. So the count full now. And the payoff. Guzman 1 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout. Stays alive. Good battle here. Ronald batting 7th tonight. And given the way things have played out with injuries, etc., get a lot of playing time at first, and you would expect that to be the case the rest of the way. This one inside, and that's ball 4, so the Rangers have their first base runner. Man on for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson.
Batting in the 8th position, catcher, number 9, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Heard a lot about him for sure, Dana. Going back to when he was with the Red Sox, key guy in the Chris Sale trade, upper 90s fastball. Sounded like it really came together for him in his last 7 or 8 starts in the minor leagues. Now big league hitters will get a sample of that overpowering stuff. A fun guy to watch. We won't see him again this year. Catch him next year.
Yeah, that start, when they found out that he was coming up and everything, that'd been pretty highly anticipated these last several days in the Windy City. So fun to see it work out for him. 1-1.
Well, it's going to be fun to see the White Sox. Interesting to see the White Sox. I don't know how much fun it'll be, but it'll be interesting. With all those trades they made a couple of years ago, they acquired 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 100 prospects in all of baseball. And over the next year or so, we'll already started to see some of them, but there's still some more who'll be coming up to the big leagues. It will be interesting to see how good they are, how well they did. Looked great when the trades were made, but you never know till you see what they do when they get to the big leagues.
Yeah, they were one of those who went all in on the aggressive rebuild. And, you know, that blueprint, pretty obvious, pretty clear for a lot of teams. And some choosing to go all in like that. Others maybe a little more patient. Little bouncer back to the mound. Anderson will go to second. They get the force out there. And Simeon lost it on the transfer when he thought about a potential double play. It just wasn't there for him.
It's a good pitch down and away, tailing down and away. Soft tapper back to Anderson. Makes an accurate throw to second. Takes him a little while, a little bit off balance. Simeon does the right thing. He wasn't going to have a play against Falefa anyway at first base.
So fielder's choice, and now they will pay some attention to Kiner Falefa. Carlos Tocci. See the average at 204 this year for Carlos. We've seen more and more of him in the second half. Last night he came in the game as a pinch hitter late and then stayed in the game in center field. 0 for 1. Hitting .276 since the All-Star break. One strike pitch. And that one down low. So after a couple of perfect innings for Anderson, a walk this inning has forced him into the stretch. 1-1. And there is strike 2. We were talking about Anderson last inning, the veteran left-hander, son of a baseball coach. His dad, Frank, was the head baseball coach at Oklahoma State when Brett was growing up. Now the pitching coach at the University of Houston. Bouncer back to the mound. Anderson quicker this time to second, and Simeon's relay in time to get Tocci. So the 1-6-3 double play as practice makes perfect. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0. And our big story, let's stick to the baseball stuff. Daniel Murphy, how about this? Traded from the Nationals to Chicago. So the Cubs adding Murphy's left-handed bat. And he can make a big difference for that Cubs team, and it frees up Joe Madden to do some things differently, in particular with Bryant continuing to be hurt. Maybe play Baez a little bit on the left side of the infield, and Murphy, you figure, will get a lot of the starts at second. Nationals also trading Matt Anderson to St. Louis. So big day. Couple of big moves for the month of August.
Yeah, looks like they're getting Daniel Murphy at the right time. Last 35 games, his OPS was 950. Well, he's a good hitter. He's proven that. A solid acquisition for the Cubs.
A guy who has a pretty good postseason history as well. As Martini hits one on the ground right to second base, and Odor will throw out the Oakland leadoff hitter. One away here in the third inning. Well, 2019, as many of you know, will be the final season at Globe Life Park. Full and half-season tickets are now on sale, and season ticket holders will secure a place in line for season tickets to Globe Life Field, which will open in 2020. Might want to get on this. Visit TexasRangers.com/seasons to learn more. Ariel Jurado puts one right in there to Chapman for a strike. Jurado, a little bit like Brett Anderson, not monkeying around, and he has a pretty clear idea of how he likes to approach hitters. It's 1-1. Chapman takes low.
Probably pretty easy for Jurado, because 65% of the pitches he throws, sometimes a little bit more than that, are going to be two-seam sinking fastballs. Just a matter of picking up the catcher where he wants it thrown and make sure the location is pretty good.
Fly ball out to center field, and Tochi tucks it away. Two gone.
Well, Chapman has been a hot hitter, and he just got underneath this one a little bit. Might have hit it a little bit toward the end of the bat as well. He's first in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break with 22 extra base hits. So he's been hot. He's been playing excellent defense at third base, and now he's starting to hit too. 28 games, last 28 games, hitting .340.
Lowry going after the first pitch, and he sends this one out to left center field. That'll be a two-out single for him. Lowry's 2 for 2.
Yeah, last night it was the bottom of the order that did the damage for the A's. The last 4 guys in the lineup were 11 for 17. Hit 3 home runs, hit 3 doubles, knocked in 7 runs. Laureano was the key guy. Beginning of the year, Lowry was one of the key components of the A's offense. Chris Davis, of course, but Lowry, probably 2 months into the season, was in the top 10 in a lot of offensive categories.
Now Davis, just off the end of the bat, lofts this one into left field. Chu coming on. Yeah. Makes the play. Inning done. A man left, and we go to the 4th tonight in Oakland. It's 1-0 A's. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today. And by Budweiser, a legendary lager for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this Bud's for you. About 3 innings in the books. And so now in the 4th, Rangers hoping with a second look now at Brett Anderson. Maybe they can get a little something going offensively. 1-0 ball game, and Anderson goes right after Chu. He struck out Chu on 3 pitches in the 1st inning. Chu's on-base percentage this year, .395, and continues to be one of the elite in the game, and that has always been a hallmark of his game. Yesterday walked in an otherwise 0 for night. It was 0 for 3 with that walk. And even with a hitless night last night, on a stretch now better than a week, where he's hitting over .420.
Yeah, if Chu finishes healthy and strong, he's going to have one of his better seasons. Everything about his season has been good. He had the 52-game streak of reaching base. He's walked a lot. He's hit home runs. And he's been healthy all season long.
Yeah, that's been a huge key. And he's adapted to that role of designated hitter. Now today getting the start in left field. But for the better part of the year has been asked to be the DH. And he's admitted it. It's taken a little time to get used to that. Shoots this one over third down the left field line, and that's a fair ball into the corner. And Chu has a leadoff double in this 4th inning. So good start to things here in the 4th inning as we check in again with Leslie.
Well, guys, I talked to Shin-Soo Choo yesterday just about his season, and that exactly what you said, Tom Grieve, is that he wants to finish healthy. You know, he said it was fun to have that streak and talked about how he didn't really start off the season well, but he got stronger as it kept going. And he said, you know, a lot of people say it doesn't matter how you start, but they remember how you finish, and that's what he's focusing on. He wants to stay healthy in these last 6 weeks. It doesn't matter to them that they're not in the hunt. They're still playing for specific things like himself, just trying to get better in these last few weeks.
I think that's one of the good things about baseball. You can actually be selfish. You can go and try to get as many hits as you can get, make as many throws as you can make, field as many balls as you can make, and do it all individually and still contribute to the well-being of the team. So I think all the players have goals that they want to accomplish before the end of the season, getting as much opportunity as they can. And going into next season, going into spring training, you want to finish strong, because that is what's in everybody's mind as you go into the offseason, is how you finished.
Yeah, this year has become a year of development, as we more or less have talked about it the last couple of months. And to that end, Jeff Bannister, I think lately has been pretty excited to talk a little more about that, because it's gone well. Seen a lot of guys pick things up a little bit, maybe make some adjustments to their game, and showing all kinds of promise. Man at third with 1 out, so the infield is in with Andrus up there. And now the count, a ball and a strike.
That's an interesting alignment. You've got the middle infielders and the first baseman all the way in on the grass, and Chapman way back. Chapman plays back anyway because he's got such a strong arm. He doesn't need to be in to make the throw home. And it gives him a little more room to make a play if he has to. The young players for the Rangers have gotten a lot of comments over the last 6 weeks, and we've talked about development, talking about the progress they're making, but they come up with on a team with the exact kind of leaders you'd hope to have if you were a young player breaking into the big leagues. With Elvis, you know, Elvis remembers Omar Vizquel and Michael Young when he was breaking in, and how much the veterans meant to him, and now he provides that. Shin-Soo Choo talked about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, tapping him for information, and he really enjoys being that kind of a teammate. Adrian Beltre, Robinson Chirinos, 2 of the best teammates you could ever have. So if you're a young player coming up to the big leagues, you couldn't ask for a better place to be than the Rangers, with those 4 veteran players providing guidance and leadership.
Always to a pretty good battle here with Anderson. And he swings and misses at strike 3. So that is the 4th strikeout now for Anderson. 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, that's a big strikeout. Rubnet hit the ball on the right side of the infield to move Chu over to third base. And then Anderson buried that hard slider down and in and got Elvis to go after it. Big strikeout, man, on third base. Less than 2 outs. Anderson has not thrown 100 pitches this year. And in his last 3 starts, he's been very efficient. 7 innings against Detroit, 74 pitches. 5 innings against the Angels, only 63 pitches.
Oh, stay back.
And then in his last start against Seattle, 7 2/3, only 83 pitches. So we've talked about him, and Dave, you mentioned he was on the disabled list. In his career has been on the disabled list 10 times. The A's know they're in a race. They know they have a chance to go to the postseason. They want him to be healthy, and so they're definitely keeping his pitch count down pretty significantly, trying to keep him healthy as the season winds down.
Well, they are, and he is, right? I mean, that's the other thing. He's getting quick outs. Our Kubota power stats. How about these Oakland A's pitchers? A 3.01 ERA since the break. Only the Indians with a better team earned run average. Well, Mazzaro rolls one to shortstop, and Simeon throws him out, and that ends the inning. The Rangers got a man to third, but couldn't get him home. It's still 1-0 Oakland. By GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer today. Beautiful time of day here in the East Bay. Looking across, oh, there's Sutro Tower to the left of your screen. Anyway, beautiful night, 1-0 Oakland leading in our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. Well, these Oakland A's since June 16th, 41-14, best record in Major League Baseball. You see, the amazing thing is the Red Sox weren't that far behind, and they just have dropped now 3 in a row. Indians making a push. Rockies have been a great story.
They're kind of waiting for the Indians to get hot. They've been treading water, but it really hasn't mattered. Minnesota's 6 games under 500, so they've had no competition in their division. Seems like they're starting to put it together now.
Yeah, they've had a great run, and their schedule is somewhat favorable going forward. There's a bouncer foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Matt Olson. Nice play. Good effort.
And the Red Sox have to be somewhat concerned about Chris Sale. Look at the replay. Guys in the bullpen appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
Is he the same kid that caught that one last night?
No, different kid, but you know,
yeah, it looks
that
like
might be a developing story.
kid yesterday. He might be positioned elsewhere today.
Ah, that's right. I bet they did.
On the left field line, foul and out of play. He might be selling concessions or something.
I remember a kid down the right field line in Toronto 6 or 7 years ago made a play on a fair ball, made a great play on a fair ball, and a guy, must have been his supervisor, came down during the inning, talked to him, and replaced him during the inning. They didn't even wait.
One out on the fly ball to left field. Well, I want to let you know about an autograph session coming up with Corey Guerin, August 29th, 10:30 in the morning. And go to the Whataburger at North Denton Tap Road in Capel. And while you're there, sign up to be a Whataburger Whata fan. And you could win tickets to a Rangers game as well as Whataburger for a year. Just visit TexasRangers.com/appearances. Bouncer up the middle, and that one through for Piscotty. His first hit of the night.
Piscotty's jumped on the first pitch each time. Last time up, he lined one hard to right field. Ran Nomar back to the warning track. This time he gets a sinker. Had some pretty good tailing action to it, but the end result was a little too much at the plate. Solid single up the middle.
Man on now from Marcus Semien. He reached on an error in the second. And Dorado puts one right in there for a strike.
Dorado's very economical with his pitches. 37 pitches, 27 strikes, and only 10 balls. He's working quickly, pounding the strike zone.
Yeah, he's working around some traffic. I mean, they've had runners every inning, but that hasn't bothered him. He just keeps going after the strike zone and got a double play in the second inning. That helped him quite a bit. He's allowed the 1 run on 5 hits so far. And people ask sometimes about guys like Dorado. He's just 22 years old. They say, well, what do you think? Good? Bad? Well, we've seen a little bit of both at times. It's outside, 2-1. And it's the thing about really, really young players. Tom, you would be able to speak to this, right? You just have to be patient. They're developing.
Yeah, if you expect consistency and everything to point upward, it's just not going to happen. They have little blips along the way.
Runner going, and the pitch bounced foul. Just took a little kick there at the end on Profar.
What you want to see is you want to see the work ethic, the aptitude, the work between starts, the constant progress. On any given night, you know, you may hang a couple of pitches and they might not have your best command. Big league hitters may take advantage of that, but the overall direction, not necessarily from one start to the next, but month to month, you just want to see the progress, want to see the work. And then along the way, you hope to get little glimpses of the things that pitchers and players are capable of doing. And I've seen that from Ariel.
2-2 pitch. This one off into the bat foul.
One thing, without knowing him very well, that you would have to say, just observing him, is he has poise. He looks like he pitches with confidence. There's last couple of starts, he's given up 6 earned runs each start, but he doesn't look flustered on the mound. He doesn't look like he loses his composure at any given time. And that you can't teach.
Well, he strikes out Semien. 2 gone, and that's his first strikeout of the night.
He's not a strikeout guy, and probably not going to be a strikeout guy, but he threw that sinker right near the center of the plate and got it by Marcus Semien. Now, eventually, you'd like to see him become comfortable with that sinker, running it in on the fists of right-hand hitters and getting those weakly hit ground balls to the left side of the infield. I think over time you develop the confidence that you can do that, and once you see the results of what can happen Most hitters don't like to be pitched in. I don't mean being hit by a ball, but a little bit off the plate with a good tailing action when it's coming in on your fists. It's not a comfortable thing for a hitter. And I think as a hitter becomes comfortable and is able to do it, has the command to do it, and sees the results, it actually becomes a little bit of a thing that's fun to do and watch the bats break.
Laureano rolls one to the left side. Andrus will go the short way to second, and they do force out Piscotty to end the inning. So a scoreless fourth for Jurado. Now to the fifth inning. Adrian Beltre will lead things off when we come back. Jurickson Profar and Ronald Guzman to follow. It's 1-0. Profar and Guzman coming up. Well, of course, this is the old home ballpark of the great Ricky Henderson, Hall of Famer, 3,055 hits in his career. Beltre well past that. Beltre a higher average, more home runs, a lot more RBIs. Of course, maybe the thing missing there were the stolen bases.
I haven't looked at Ricky's numbers in a long time. But if you had asked me before I just saw that graphic what his lifetime average was, I would have said in the 290s. I would have thought it was higher than that.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is what he did best, right? I mean, he changed the game from the top of the batting order. His power in the leadoff spot, but the base running was just absurd.
I think people will say technically he was one of the greatest base stealers, maybe the greatest base stealer. He was fast. I don't know if he was one of the fastest guys in the big leagues, but he always had a great lead. Such strong legs, and that one crossover step seemed like he reached full speed the minute he took his first step. Read the pitchers, got great jumps. Even though he never played for the Rangers, it was still a lot of fun to watch him play. Exciting player.
Yeah, he was a game changer.
How great was it when he stole third base, lifted it up and said, "I am, and now I am the greatest of all time."
That was awesome. That famous slide, that headfirst slide.
There it is.
Man,
that might have been it. That might have been timeout, lift the base up. Unfortunately for Ricky, Nolan Ryan pitched a no-hitter that day and kind of stole his thunder.
Down low, 2-2 to Profar. Well, Henderson had over 1,400 stolen bases.
Wow.
1,400. And I remember when he was young, you know, when he came up, he was every year it was like 100 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And then the one year where he stole 130. Ground ball to third base. Chapman showing off that arm a little bit. Takes care of Profar.
When Chapman throws from third base, and let's say the ball is below the first baseman's waist when it gets there, it looks like it's going to bounce about 5 feet in front of the bag. But he's got such great arm strength and velocity, it just keeps on going. doesn't sink that much. I'd like to see him step off the mound and see how hard he could throw it. I'm guessing 95 to 98, pretty easy.
2 gone for Ronald Guzman. So yeah, here at Rickey Henderson Field at the Oakland Coliseum. Rickey also has the all-time record for runs scored in a career. A dribbler foul. So as a leadoff guy, that's good, right? You score a lot of runs, you steal a lot of bases. He had the power, as we mentioned. And I think to your point about the batting average, that did sort of strike me as low. But remember, he walked so much more than he struck out. He had an on-base average better than 400. Let's see how that compares.
You know, and that is the bottom line for a leadoff hitter. If you walk 100 times, you can hit 279. Not that 279 is bad. I just thought it was more than that. I thought it was 15 points higher than that. Felt like it was watching him play.
Yeah, so Beltre hit, what, 7 points higher so far in his career. But Rickey more than 60 points better in his career on base. Ground ball right side. And that 6-3 putout ends the inning. Quiet. Top of the 5th. Halfway there tonight. It's Oakland 1 and the Rangers nothing. Presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Well, 1-0 Oakland with the lead tonight as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And looking ahead, Saturday, September 1st, Rangers and Twins will be getting together at a Globe Life Park. And the first 15,000 fans get a Rangers captain bobblehead, courtesy of Toyota. You can go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Now Fagley swinging away at the first pitch and flies out to center field, 1 away. Now to the top of the order for Nick Martini. First, though, is Chevy game break as we once again send it back to Dana Larson.
38, Nick Martini.
Yeah, what to do? Red Sox falling apart.
Well, they got to be a little concerned about Chris Sale. Chris Sale came off the disabled list with shoulder problems, pitched great for 5 or 6 innings, and then went back on the disabled list. So, you know, they can hope and they can say whatever they want, but that, from the outside looking in, that sounds a little bit worrisome to me.
1-1 pitch. And a ground ball to the right side again. Martini rolls out 4-3, 2 away.
Well, it's impressive so far through 4 2/3 for Ariel Jurado. He's given up 4 hits. All of them have been singles, and some of them haven't been hit very hard either. And we saw what the A's did in last night's game, the home runs they hit, the extra base hits they've had. They're one of the top teams in baseball as far as total of extra base hits. So long way to go, but 4 2/3 through and only 48 pitches. A lot of weak contact so far for Gerardo. It's nice to see.
And this ball hit well out to right field and just past Mazzara. Couldn't quite reach out far enough, and so Chapman has a 2-out double.
He could have at least waited till I was done saying a lot of weak contact before he made contact.
That was kind of rude.
We're talking about Chapman and all the extra base hits he's had since the All-Star break.
Now batting, second baseman.
That's his 13th double since the All-Star break, and that was one of those sinkers that was belt high. One of the few pitches that Gerardo has gotten up that high. Most of them have been down pretty well. Another double for Chapman.
Yeah, his 30th now for the year. And it gets Jed Lowry to the plate. Lowry 2 for 2 so far. We started the show tonight talking a little bit about Lowry in the first inning when he came up. The fact that he was hitless in his last 9 at bats. Well, so much for that. And he has had some pretty good numbers this year against the Rangers. Now hitting a little better than .350 for the season. Outside, it's 1-1. Coming off an incredible year last year, 49 doubles last season for Lowry. That's a club record. Had the 14 home runs this year, surpassed the home run total already to a career high. Fouls that one away. It's 1-2. Well, it's the final year of his deal here in Oakland. And they have some young players coming, as they always seem to. It was thought that he's just keeping the seat warm for Franklin Barreto, but the reality is he has been so good. Barreto's a bit of an afterthought for the time being. They're winning ball games and thinking about the postseason. 2-2. Now Gerardo at just 53 pitches so far tonight. 2 outs and a man at second. And Lowry fights him off. You could argue one of the reasons Lowry had the success he did last year was the fact that he was healthy. He played more than 100 games for just the 3rd time in his career last year. This is his 11th season in the big leagues. Takes inside. It's a full count. And so he's done it again this year. For the 4th time in 11 years that he's played in excess of 100 games. A tight one here tonight. Oakland leading 1-0. Oakland currently tied for first in the American League West. They're tied with the Houston Astros, who are playing in Seattle. And Houston and Seattle right now, they're in a 1-0 game. Houston on top early in that one. And that is high ball 4. Lowry will accept the walk. I'm taking a look here at the West Division standings. And pretty amazing the run that Oakland has made to get in this spot right here. Mariners only 3.5 back, very much in the conversation, not just for the division, but of course the wild card. And the Angels are 500, but 12.5 out. Bob Melvin
This is what, his 7th year now, in his first 6+ seasons. They won 2 division titles here and took this team to the postseason as a wild card once as well, and this year now another chance to win the division miraculously. That's after finishing last in the division each of the last 3 seasons. Well, people figured they would be better this year. I don't know that many saw this. All right, Chris Davis up there now with a couple of base runners.
He's made some good pitches to Chris in this ball game. A weak ground ball to third, a pop up to left field, both of them off-speed pitches off the end of the bat. And here's where he's dangerous, right here, with men in scoring position, men on base. Gotten him out a couple of times. He's seen most of your pitches. And a nice play by the little guy next to the dugout right there. Reached right into the dugout and the camera well and made the play.
He's having a big night.
There he is.
On the 1-1. Davis sent another one into the seats. A ground out to third, a fly out to left field. Chapman at second, Lowry at first base, and another foul ball. Now Chris Davis is dangerous as they come, and yesterday did not disappoint his hometown fans. Had a home run in the 3rd inning in yesterday's game. Also had a base hit and a walk. Two. And I mean, it's hard to do one of these games without bringing this up. But since 2016, Davis 25 home runs against the Rangers.
You know, if he had 15, it would be pretty good number, and we wouldn't talk about it all the time. But when it's 25, it's so remarkable. You have to keep talking about it.
2-2. And pulls it foul.
Well, Ariel's made a lot of good pitches. He hasn't given him one he can handle yet. He's been a little bit late on his fastball. He's kind of keeping it up on him. Down and out over the plate. That's the dangerous spot, and he's done a great job of keeping it away from that so far.
The walk to Lowry was the first walk he'd issued. It was the first 3-ball count he had encountered tonight. And now Davis sends this one to center field. That's a base hit. Tochi charging hard. The throw comes through, but not in time. Chapman scores on the Davis RBI single, and it's 2-0 Oakland.
Well, Ariel kept pounding the plate. That one he got probably a little bit too close to the center of the plate. The other ones were on the perimeter of the strike zone. That one caught the middle of it. And Davis hit it right up the middle. Solid line drive to center.
A little more patient in that at bat after going after the first pitch in each of his first 2 at bats. Saw 7 there before eventually coming up with a base hit. Now Matt Olson. And he'll take outside.
Davis came into the game second in Major League Baseball with 99 RBIs. That was number 100. There's 6 weeks left in the season.
Lowry out there at second base. Does not have great speed, and it's not going to matter anyway because this pop-up near second base. Andrews drifting in. He'll make the catch. The inning is over. But the A's add a run. RBI single by Davis. We'll go to the 6th inning. It's 2-0. Top of the 6th inning. It's time now for our lows. Whole team together. Now this Rangers team hitting .275 since the All-Star break. That is best in the American League. And you see the guys who have led the charge. Guys like Rugi or this guy, Kiner Falefa. And Isaiah leading things off here. We'll take ball 1 from Brett Anderson. Kiner Falefa reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1. Rangers have 1 hit. It was the Chu double in the 4th inning. Yesterday they had 1 hit in the 7 innings that Mike Fiers pitched. His bullpen came on and Rangers picked up a couple more hits before the night was done, but it was a tough night offensively. It goes back to a point you were making earlier, Tom, which is a lot of young great players and hitters on this team, but the pitching has been pretty good too. 3-1 the count, or rather full count now.
And as we said last night, when you look at the 5 guys in the rotation, 4 of them anyway, without maybe Sean Manaea, and there are 4 guys that were kind of available to anybody. They were guys that the A's maybe identified as depth, and they had so many injuries they needed that depth, and the rotation has turned out to be one of their strengths.
Anderson gets a strikeout looking, 1 away here in the 6th inning, and time for a word from Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
Tochi now, he bounced into a double play in the 3rd inning. And he takes a strike. So I don't know that it's a fair question, Tom, but people like to pose them. So I'll throw it your way.
People like to pose unfair questions?
So that's almost exclusively
okay,
what
well,
I do.
Let's go for it then.
1-1 pitch. Little roller toward 3rd. Chapman with a chance again to show that arm.
Look at that arm.
Pretty impressive. 2 away. So you look at this division, and Oakland currently tied with Houston. Mariners still within a shot of this thing. I mean, can Oakland pull it? Obviously, Oakland could win the division, but
I think,
do you think
we're probably on the same page with this one. I look at Oakland having had a tremendous streak to get to where they are. I just find it hard that they're going to be able to maintain that over the last 6 weeks. I'd love to see them do it, but I'm having a hard time visualizing that. And at the same time, Houston has been kind of treading water. Overall, they're great, 75 and 50. But they've had injuries. But now Altuve's back, Correa's back. They've got that starting pitching. I think when it's all over and done with, you'd have to go with Houston.
Kind of with you on that one. Well, Anderson turns in another perfect frame. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0.
Ford game summary. Martini in the first inning grounded a base hit, looked like it might be a double, moved into scoring position, and then a little bloop single. Lowry dumps it into center field. Move forward, Chris Davis, man on second, 2 outs after a long at bat, got a pitch out over the plate, lined it into center field. That scored the next run. Jurado has pitched well, 2 runs through 5 innings, but he finds himself down 2-0 because Brett Anderson's been almost untouchable.
Well, he starts his 6th inning by getting the first 2 in there for strikes to Piscotty, who had a single his last time up. And that one is a little bit low, 1-2. Piscotty, Marcus Semien, and Ramon Laureano for Oakland. 2 runs, 7 hits for Oakland. No errors so far tonight. No runs, only 1 hit for the Rangers, and they have made 1 error. Comebacker. I think Jurado may have deflected that right to Rugi. May go as a 1-4-3 put out.
Now batting shortstop, number 10.
Well, let's see if he did.
Semien.
I don't know about that.
Maybe just a slightly glancing blow off the glove or something.
Might have been.
Now Marcus Semien. Take another look here. And
might have glanced off the heel of his glove.
Kind of hard to tell. 1-1 now to Semien, who has reached on an error and struck out swinging. Regardless, the ball was hit pretty hard, so a nice play. Good out to get right there. Another bouncer foul. Last night we were treated to some entertainment by the percussion section out in right field here at the Coliseum. Sounds like they're at it again. This ball hit over short and into left center. Semien turns, goes for 2. Here comes a throw, and he is in there. 29th double of the year for Semien.
Well hit ball into the gap. Chu gets over and cuts it off. Comes up firing. Semien aggressively going for 2 on the play. Challenge the throw. The throw was off just a little bit to the shortstop side. Rugi makes a gallant effort to dive and make the tag, but couldn't get it there in time. Double for Semien. Semien's been hot. Back the last week and a half, he's hitting over 400.
And he's now in scoring position. Laureano, the 8th place hitter, 1 for 2. Turns that one foul. Well, our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Matt Moore, and has he been good lately out of the pen? He's getting ready in case he's needed. One and 2.
Well, we talked about Jurado and how many sinkers he throws. That's a pretty good breaking ball right there. If you're a hitter, you have to be anticipating the sinker. He throws so many of them, and when he makes a quality pitch like that, you get the swing that Laureano made at him. Just waved at it.
Two pitch.
And this one hit hard into left field. That's a base hit. Chu up with it quickly. They throw the stop sign up at third. And so Oakland will have him on the corners.
They tried to come back with the same pitch. Laureano waved at the good one, but this one never gets down and away. You can see Kiner Falefa setting up down and away, but that one hung on the inside part of the plate. And that allowed Laureano to get the bat on it, drive it into the outfield. All a matter of location.
Doug Brocail, and it's a long run to get out to the mound to this ballpark. Well, Doug running out there, it's kind of funny. Normally you go out there, maybe give the pitcher a break or something. Doug might need Gerardo to give him a break now. Let him catch his breath.
Yeah, Doug, probably one of the better pitching coaches in the league as far as his jog and the way he looks going out to the mound.
I agree. Doug's. So I read a lot of these books. Jack Reacher novels by Lee Child. He's this great serial character, and he's just a big tough dude from the military. And I've always, since I've read those books, I always think of Doug.
Huh.
He's kind
That's a nice compliment. I think. I've never read the books.
Oh, it's a great compliment. Runner goes. That's a big stolen base. Laureano, his second stolen base in his career. And that removes that potential of a potential ground ball double play. So now first base empty for Fagley. Field in. The ground ball. Kofar knocks it down, and his only play will be to first. Well, if he comes up with that cleanly, might well be a play on Simeon at the plate, but as it was, excellent effort to get it at all.
Yeah, it was a nice play. Nice play to knock it down. Nice play to get it out. Couldn't prevent the runner from scoring. They got the out at first base and kept the other guy at second.
So now 3-0 Oakland.
That's one of those throws where he didn't have time to look, didn't have time to think, just reacted and threw a perfect strike chest high to first base.
Well, now Martini 1 for 3. Grounded out his last 2 times up. Good pitch, and it's 1-1. Gerardo trying to get himself through this 6th inning. Pitch count certainly not an issue. Hasn't been all night. Very efficient, especially through the first 4 innings. That hit hard and into left field. That's a base hit. It gets Laureano to the plate. Martini with the RBI single, his 2nd hit of the night. It's 4-0 Oakland.
Martini's getting a chance to play, getting a chance to lead off for the hottest team in baseball, and he's making the most of his opportunity. He's been called up 3 times this year since his 3rd call up. With a 2 for 4 tonight, he's hitting over 325 in 65 or 66 at bat. So getting an opportunity, pretty long time in the minor leagues with the Cardinals. Getting a chance to play in the big leagues, and he's thriving right now.
Well, it's our who's in, who's out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Well, the man who's in, Matt Moore. Ariel Dorado, nice job tonight. He's the man who's out. We'll be back in a moment.
Matt Moore, who's been a lot of fun to watch lately.
Yeah, when you just look at the overall numbers, it doesn't look that good, 6.99 ERA, but he's earned wins in 2 straight outings, 5 shutout innings in his last 3 games, 1 run in his last 4 games. That covers 8 innings. And in his last 4 outings, opponents are 3 for 26 against him. So out of the bullpen, he's found some success over the last couple of weeks, throwing the ball nicely right now.
Tapper fouled by Chapman to the count 0-2. Chapman doubled and scored last inning. He's 1 for 3. For Oakland, whatever reason, you know, they're hot right now. I don't think anybody can argue that. But the way they match up with the Rangers these last couple of weeks, boy, it's not been favorable. There's strike 3 called, and Chapman down looking. The inning is done. So they'll have to settle for the 1 run. We'll go to the 7th, 4-0. In favor of Oakland as we go to the 7th inning, and Odor will lead things off. And Tom, you were noting some numbers today. There's been quite a change in some ways for him.
Yeah, I think when you look at these numbers since June 14th, the whiff rate, it's gone from 25% down to 22%, not swinging and missing as much. The line drive percentage has gone up pretty significantly, 4 percentage points. Doesn't pop up as much. That's gone down over half. Those high pop-ups to the infield, that indicates more line drives, maybe a more level swing. His OPS has obviously gone up a lot, but those little indicators, more contact, more line drives, fewer pop-ups. That's the reason his OPS is so much higher. He's hitting the ball harder. When you look at hard contact, I'm not sure exactly what the definition of that is. Probably 90 miles per hour off the bat, maybe.
Yeah, 90, 95, something like that.
He's second in all of baseball over that period of time with hard hit balls. So it's been a very nice turnaround for Rougned, and all those numbers contribute to it. Saw a stat 2 weeks ago. There were 2 players who hadn't popped up to the infield yet this year. Unfortunately, I can't remember who they were. Joey Votto might have been one of them.
Is one of them, yeah.
I know Wade Boggs used to be one of those kind of guys, but I think there's another one too. Guys that never pop up. Boy, this guy is dealing. Saw Mike Fiers last night pitch 7 innings. He gave up 1 hit. It was an opposite field double by Nomar Mazara. And right now, Brett Anderson is in the 7th inning, and he's only given up 1 hit. And it was an opposite field double by Shin-Soo Choo. This has been a very impressive effort by a left-handed pitcher, and he's kind of given a definition in how to pitch. Great command with his sinker, a good slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it, and a nice changeup with excellent command. The Rangers have just not hit a lot of balls hard against him. Last time he started against the Rangers, he struck out 6 in 6 innings, and that's where he is right now. He's walked 4 batters in his last 42 innings. That's the kind of roll he's on right now. And that's where he's keeping the ball, right down there. A's are crossing their fingers that he can stay healthy for 6 more weeks and into the postseason.
And my goodness, if he does, if he can pitch like this down the stretch and into the postseason, they'll be loving that. A little pop up out into right field. Piscotty coming in to make the play.
You know, and you have to give the A's pitchers credit. The Rangers came into this game and they've been swinging the bats. They've had one of the best offenses in baseball since the All-Star break. Young players developing, hitting the ball hard. Now this is not necessarily a great hitter's park, but at the same time the Rangers came into this game swinging the bats well, and Brett Anderson, Mike Fiers have shut them down. Credit to them. Showed a graphic in the pregame in the open to the show. ERA leaders in the month of August. Fiers and Anderson were right near the top 10, in the top 10. Anderson was 1 or 2. And it'll be Edwin Jackson tomorrow, and he's right there with him.
And Edwin Jackson is number 2, and Anderson was the leader in that top 5. Take a look at it.
And there's the one I was talking about. Couldn't quite remember the order. Anderson, Jackson, and Fiers.
Yeah, and Fiers moved up there based on his effort last night.
Right.
Wouldn't have been in there prior to this series, but is now. But 3 of the top 5 are the lowest ERAs in the American League. And the Rangers are getting them in this series.
Yeah, and their other 2 starters are probably the guys who would start 1 and 2 in the playoffs. Sean Manaea, young left-hander, has pitched very well. Trevor Cahill has been pitching the ball really well. We'll see if they can do it for 6 more weeks. We'll see.
2-2. And that is outside. Full count now on Mazzara. Nomar 0 for 2. Struck out and grounded out.
Anderson at 91 pitches right now. I mentioned before he has not thrown 100 pitches in a game yet this year. He's been in the 90s 4 or 5 times. So he's probably just about reaching his pitch quota for today.
3-2. He's on a 17-inning scoreless streak right now. And we can see why, certainly. Rangers have had 1 runner get into scoring position tonight. There's Lou Trevino getting ready in the bullpen for Oakland. That's the thing. Once they get to this point, it gets really difficult. The 3-2. This one pulled weakly right side of the infield. The shortstop charging, and Simeon throws out Mazzara to win the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Brett Anderson. They stand at stretch tonight. Oakland leading 4-0.
Player breakdown. It's Brett Anderson tonight. He was masterful. 7 innings, 1 hit, a double by Shin-Soo Choo to lead off the 4th inning. He walked 1, struck out 6. It was just a classic example of how to pitch. An effective fastball, sinking fastball that he kept down and away from the hitters, away from the middle of the plate. An effective changeup and a really good breaking ball. That's his 3rd start in 4 starts where he's pitched at least 7 innings and given up no runs. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. 7 1/3, 5 hits, no runs. And tonight 7, 1 hit and no runs.
Well, it's Lowry, Davis, and Olson in this 7th inning for Oakland. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Against Matt Moore, the left-hander came in and got the strikeout of Chapman to end the 6th inning. And now out in the 7th. And we talked earlier about how good he has been lately. Seems to have, I don't know, fallen into a little bit of a groove coming out of the bullpen. And he's said as much. Said, you know, part of it is just being able to get out there with greater frequency and being able to tinker on little things and try to perfect them has kind of helped him. He feels like the process of working out of the pen has allowed him to regain some form and some consistency. And Danny noted the same thing today when talking to the media. Felt like that this arrangement has really worked out well for him. There was some talk earlier in the year of maybe more returning to the rotation later in the season. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now, Rangers are working with a couple extra starters as it is, and he walks Jed Lowry here to start the 7th. Well, looking ahead, our progressive upcoming schedule. We'll wrap this thing up here tomorrow afternoon, but then Friday, the first of 3 against the Giants, interleague style, just on the other side of the bay. Friday night, we'll get after it here again, and I guess that'll be a 9 o'clock first pitch back home Central Time. The pregame beginning at 8:30. Chris Davis with a man on here in the 7th inning, and he fouls off strike 1. Davis with 100 RBIs now. Drove in a run in the 5th inning. 1-1 the count. It's 3rd year in a row with 100 or more RBIs for Davis. He has expressed an interest in making it a long stay here in Oakland, which so many guys who have come to Oakland over the years put up some numbers only to run away in free agency. And Davis has been clear about this. He likes it here. I said, I'd like to stay in Oakland. I get it. I might not get as much money here as I could elsewhere. And he's been pretty frank about that too. Doesn't really matter.
Well, in the long run, players are making a lot of money, and they have every right to maximize their income, and they have every right to take less and stay where they love it too. They shouldn't be judged in either way. It's up to them. They've earned the right to be in that position, and if he loves his teammates, likes playing in Oakland, more power to him. Stay here, enjoy it.
Well, I don't know that he needs any more power than he already has. This one hit well out to right field, and it is gone. I don't think Davis was listening, but maybe trying to prove a point. His 38th home run of the year. A 2-run shot, and he makes it 6-0 Oakland.
Well, he's got great power. You see him step a little bit toward 3rd base and still go the other way with that ball. And there's no doubt about it. It's not one that goes to right field and just scrapes the foul pole. You know, ball's 7 or 8 rows back in right field. That's some kind of power hitter, boy.
He is impressive. Matt Olson now, and he'll take ball 1. You know, this is his chance by the Oakland faithful, MVP
Why not?
for
He should be in the discussion.
Well, absolutely. If it comes down to it, and I don't know if you get into that thing that the team has to have success necessarily.
I do to a certain degree for an MVP.
Yeah.
But his team's having success, so he qualifies there. J.D. Martinez is a great candidate for sure. Davis's power numbers are right there with his. Martinez is kind of right in the running for the Triple Crown. If he can catch Mookie Betts for the batting average. He's hot too, leading him down the stretch. He's main guy in the discussion for MVP, I think. Mookie Betts is in the discussion, obviously. J.D. Martinez. Ramirez for Cleveland's got to be a front runner.
Yeah, Ramirez, that's a pretty tough one to overcome. He has been really good all the way around too. And I think sometimes, I don't know, the defense for me for Jose Ramirez, for that matter for Betts.
Yeah, when you talk MVP, you're talking all around, and that's something Davis doesn't have as a DH. That's a fair argument for the other guys.
Yep, and J.D. Martinez, victim of the same thing. But I mean, and the other two we're talking about, Betts and Jose Ramirez, they're not just, it's not just that they play defense. I mean, they're both pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely in their favor.
A full count now as Moore struggling a little bit in this 7th inning. Walk to Lowry, the home run to Davis, and now another full count. Foul back our direction. Olson 0 for 3 tonight. Yesterday Olson was 0 for 5, but did drive in a run. He's on a RBI fielder's choice late in the game. But no hits so far in this series for him. And he's a dangerous hitter. Bouncer up the middle. Easy play for Andrews. One away.
Let's take another look at Chris Davis's home run. Watch his left foot. He steps a little bit toward third base, but still with power to right field. Drives it 10 rows back to straightaway right field. We'll take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. 105 miles an hour off the bat, 28-degree launch angle. He powered one to left field yesterday, 440 feet, and that one he hits to straightaway right field. Hit one to straightaway right field the other day, Sunday, against Justin Verlander on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So he's a power hitter that doesn't try to pull the ball, uses the whole field, has a line drive up the middle to drive in a run. Home run and a single, 3 RBIs today. 102 on the season for him.
Comebacker. That one off Moore and toward third, and no play to be had. Piscotty is aboard, his 2nd hit of the night. And that will require a visit now. Make sure that Moore is all right. Kevin Harmon, head athletic trainer, out there quickly. Banny following right behind him. And Moore indicating that he's all right. Okay, uneventful. That's good. So we can see exactly how this went down.
Somewhere in the shins, ankle area.
Shortstop, number 10, Marcus.
Definitely a hard hit ball. Piscotty hit that ball right in the barrel of the bat. But looks like Matt's okay.
So Simeon had a big double in the 6th inning. Man aboard. 1 out. Talked about how this team, a lot of young players, and brought some kids up, and they've had some success, and as a result, here they are, a young bunch making a run. Simeon is the longest tenured athletic. He's been with the team since 2015. Just not that long. And he bloops this one out to relatively deep left field. And Chu makes the catch. 2 away. So you go from the longest tenured player in Simeon to now Ramon Laureano, who is more or less the newest. This is just his 13th game. Laureano with 2 hits already tonight. Couple of home runs in yesterday's game for Laureano, the first of his career. And it's 0-2. Well, they had a crowd tonight. They announced a crowd of 11,579 here at the Coliseum. Last night had 9,000 plus. But they're getting a chance to watch a very hot team in their Oakland A's, who were tied for the division lead, leading this one 6-0. The team that they're tied with, the Houston Astros, they are leading in Seattle right now. 6th inning, it's a 3-1 game up there. 0-2 pitch. A little bit low. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Moore, his 2nd tonight. But Oakland picks up a couple more runs on, guess what? A Chris Davis home run. It's 6-0. Game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. You can access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and really a whole lot of other stuff. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Right in Oakland at the Coliseum. And Chad Pinder, take a little cheat sheet out there to left field with him. Giving a little double check, too. And Jeurys Familia takes over on the mound.
Yeah, Familia was a nice acquisition for the A's. Guy that's been a successful closer in the National League for the Mets. Comes over to be a setup guy. Nice luxury to have. Blake Trinan's been an excellent closer for the A's, so they didn't need a closer, but they needed a couple of guys late in the game, and Familia certainly fills that bill. Fernando Rodney also has come over, another guy that's been a closer, pitching late in ball games. The A's have really fortified their 6th inning on setup guys for the bullpen for Blake Trinan. There's Rodney. Seen him on a lot of different teams. At least we won't get to see him do the bow and arrow anymore. I don't think he does it unless he gets a save, does he?
No.
How he shoots the bird out of the sky?
Yeah, no, only for the. I gotta believe only for his save. No balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Beltre here in the 8th inning. Beltre is twice flying out to right field. Whoa, a little tight. Yeah, that'll get the get the heart pumping a little bit.
In anticipation of what that would have felt like if he didn't get out of the way.
So Familia now back into the stretch. They play Beltre straight away. And he sends this one to right field, heading foul. Some room over there. Olsen gets to it and makes the catch. We talked about the foul territory last night, but there's a perfect example of how that extra foul ground here at the Coliseum can really help a pitcher.
Yeah, that ball's 10 rows back in most ballparks. Definitely in our ballpark. That's one of the reasons a mobile first baseman is a real plus to have here in Oakland. A guy that can cover ground to catch those kind of balls, and then another guy like Olsen who can snare him out of the dirt like he does. He doesn't just catch the short hops, he catches those that bounce 4 or 5 feet out in front of him that take tough hops to catch.
One gone now for Jurickson and Profar. The Rangers with just 1 hit so far tonight. We're hoping to the change of scenery here from Brett Anderson to the A's bullpen might result in a little more life offensively. Tight 2-0. We saw that on a really small scale yesterday. Once Fiers left the game, Buchter came on. He gave up a single to Gallo and Guzman to start the 8th inning, but then Buchter and Sean Kelly would retire the next 6 in a row, and that was the end of the game. This one up the middle, that's a base hit, so Profar is on. The Rangers have their 2nd hit of the night. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's welcome in once again Dana Larson.
Number 67, Ronald Guzman.
Yeah, thanks, Dana. Well, Houston trying to keep pace. And so too are the A's.
And with Anderson's shutout innings tonight, the A's starting pitchers haven't allowed a run in 4 of their last 6 games and 8 of their last 19 games. That's how solid their starting pitching has been.
Yeah, and again, I think we're not the only ones. A lot of people tend to focus on how great their bullpen is. It has been. But lately, really, starting pitching has been tremendous.
8 of their last 19 games, the starter has thrown shutout ball.
That seems unusual.
I think it is.
Well, they've got a good thing going right now, that's for sure. Guzman 0 for 1. He walked earlier tonight, and they'll throw over to first base to keep Profar a little bit closer. Hard to imagine the Rangers trying to steal a lot of bases right now, down 6 runs, 1 out in the 8th inning. 2-1. Oakland last year won 75 games for the year. As I mentioned, finished in last place for their 3rd consecutive season. And they got their 75th win last night already with, I don't know, you said like 6 weeks to go. So there's been a dramatic turnaround. Familia, meanwhile, having a little command issue here. Now the 3-1, and that's a strike. Here's one having a huge rookie season, and he has come up big late in games. Now they just need him to continue this inning with something like that, a walk, and he'll take it. Well, looking ahead to that next homestand, it will open up on Tuesday, August 28th, the 7:05 game. Rangers and Dodgers. First 15,000 fans get a Robinson Chirinos removable mask bobblehead, courtesy of StubHub. Tickets available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS.
The likenesses continue to get better and better.
Yeah.
You saw that, you'd know it was Robinson.
Today filling in for him behind the plate, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 0 for 2. Familia with a good fastball in there for a strike. And tonight, A's starter Brett Anderson was really pretty rapid with his pitches. He got it, he threw it. And Gerardo similarly for the Rangers. Familia, meanwhile, slowing it down here just a touch. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, I thought Brett Anderson was really impressive. Fires pitched really nice last night after a kind of a shaky start. First couple of innings, he threw 47 pitches and then managed to go 7 innings. So he really refined it after the second inning. Anderson today, right from the start, was just making pitch after pitch quickly, quick outs, weak contact. It was just an impressive start for him tonight.
Oh-2 to Kiner-Falefa. Swing and a miss. So he strikes him out. 2 away. And we'll step away for a moment for a word from our friends at Kia.
When you're America's best value, you don't need some over-the-top celebration.
Chiefs, number 13.
All right, Joey Gallo will pinch hit here for Carlos Tocci. Couple of men on. And these are the spots you hope will emerge when you're a manager and you've got a guy like Gallo on your bench waiting to be used. Yeah, you hope maybe we'll get a couple of guys on and I'll have the perfect spot to send him up there. One big swing by Gallo. The right result. Make this a game again. Up and away. And both runners will advance. That one went off the glove of Fagley. I don't know if it was crossed up or what, but that thing was way up and outside.
Yeah, Familia really hasn't been locating the strike zone all that well. 17 pitches, about even, 9 strikes, 8 balls. Working slow and not throwing a lot of strikes.
It's definitely a pass ball. Puts the runners, both of them, in scoring position, and that not insignificant now. No force out at second or third base with first base empty. Gallo puts this one in the air, deep to left field. Back is Pinder. On that warning track, he makes the catch. Inning is done. Rangers leave 2 in scoring position. Last of the 8th coming. It's 6-0.
Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right.
Lights are on. 6-0 Oakland as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Matt Moore out there for a little more work. He has thrown an inning and a third so far in relief of Jurado. Joey Gallo stays in the game in center field. We've seen Vandy do that a little more here in the second half, experimenting with some different defensive alignments. And Gallo, for the second time since the All-Star break, finds himself in center. 1-1 to Fegley, and that one is off the plate. 2-1. There's a strike. That'll even it up. Jurado went 5 2/3, allowed 4 runs on 10 hits tonight. 1 walk and 1 strikeout for him. Moore allowed a couple of runs last inning. But as is generally the case, getting multiple innings in. A swing and a miss. He strikes out Fegley, 1 away. Well, we start looking ahead to that series in San Francisco beginning Friday night. And it's going to be a lot of fun, in part because of this matchup right here. Drew Hutchison will have the ball for the Rangers. And on the other side, Derek Rodriguez, back healthy, ready to go for the Giants. The son of Pudge Rodriguez, and he will have the start for San Francisco. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, a little bit of an injury, tweaked his hamstring, so it's nice to see him healthy enough. And the way it worked out, I think if he didn't do that, he was not going to pitch against the Rangers, but that caused him to get pushed back to the point where we will see him on Friday. That is going to be a lot of fun. Derek's pitching great for the Giants right now. What a nice surprise that has been for them. Probably been their best pitcher. And right up there with him has been Derek Holland, who's been pitching really well lately. That's nice to see as well.
Yeah, I believe we're expecting to see Holland maybe in Saturday's game. Pardon me, on Sunday.
Sunday.
0-2. Roller. Left side of the infield. Profar has it. Good throw, and he gets Pinder 2 away.
It's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's take a look at Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman has more doubles than anyone in baseball since the All-Star break and has one tonight into right center field. He will score on this line shot to center field, and then he'll make another nice play at third. That one actually is a routine play, just showcasing that great arm strength that he has over there at third base. That's something that stands out in a big league game. When you can see a guy that throws like that, I think even the casual fan that generally might not notice something like that goes, wow, that guy can throw it fast. Pudge was like that when he was catching too. Usually it takes a home run or something spectacular to get people to stand up, but sometimes it can be something like a throw. Arm strength. Chapman, one of the best at that.
Thinking back, some of the best arms you've seen, let's say on an infielder.
Well, and you know, long ago in the 1970s, we had a third baseman named Aurelio Rodriguez, Chichi Rodriguez, who had that kind of an arm. Played third base for the Senators back then, not the Rangers, and then was traded to the Tigers in the Denny McLain trade. He had an arm at third base just like that.
Well, Chapman has a good arm, but not a very good eye there. He strikes out looking, and the inning is done. So last chance for the Rangers now. Coming up, top of the order, which means Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off when we come back.
Smile. Look to the fourth inning. Shin-Soo Choo down the left field line shoots a double. Through 7 innings against Brett Anderson, that was the only base hit. A well placed and well hit line drive double for Shin-Soo Choo. Opposite field, AL rankings, he has 48 hits the opposite way. That's third. He's also hit 8 of his 20 home runs to left field. That's 5th in opposite field home runs. So you're looking at a guy who can hit it the other way, but not just slap it the other way, but hit it to left field with authority. Lou Trevino will pitch the 9th inning, at least part of it, and he's been pitching really well. A 1.65 ERA, 65 strikeouts, 26 walks. He can bring it up there in the mid-90s, a little higher sometimes.
Trying to protect a 6-0 lead, and his first offering hits a corner on Choo for strike 1. Choo, Odor, and Andrews. Rangers held to just 2 hits so far tonight. Last night had 3 hits. They were shut out yesterday. It was the 7th time this year the Rangers were shut out, all 7 times on the road. And of course, in danger of being shut out again here tonight. And we've pointed it out. This is an offense that has been as potent as any, maybe the most potent offense in baseball since the All-Star break. 1-2 the count. They have had trouble with Oakland. Chu has one of the 2 hits. It was a double in the 4th. And hits this one on the ground, left side of the infield. Wow. Chapman shows off that arm. And he gets Chu to start the 9th inning.
It's one thing to catch a routine ground ball and wind up and fire. It's another thing to be sprinting from shortstop toward third base on the dead run, get a bad grip, readjust your grip, and then fire a strike over to first base.
And still get the out by like a step.
Yeah, that's some arm strength. Wasn't quite a strike, but it had something on it for being off balance like that.
How about this? He played high school baseball with Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty good team.
That's pretty. Oh. Arenado was a couple years ahead and was the primary shortstop. And Chapman coming up kind of was the man waiting in the wings. But when
made that coach look good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
They both probably pitched too, if I had to guess, in high school.
Yeah, Arenado said when he pitched, then Chapman would come in and play shortstop for him. Pop foul back out of play by Odor. 1-1 to count. Two and one. Now a healthy rip by Rugi, who is been collared tonight and last night, so that's 0 for the series so far. Of course, when the team has 5 hits in the series, there'll be a lot of guys who are struggling offensively. Rugi fights him off. So this one a 6-0 score. Houston, by the way, I believe that game now in the 8th inning in Seattle, and Houston leads 3-1. So the top 2 spots in the division, should those scores hold, would stay the same. Seattle would drift a little further back out of the conversation. They were 3.5 back coming into play today. It's a full count now on Odor. The American League West has become one of the real interesting focal points in baseball. It's a great race. There's some interesting stuff going on. Then in the National League, like, everybody's in it. I think there are like 8 teams within 2.5 games of one another. Odor sends this one to center field. Laureano back, and he'll make the catch. 2 away. Again, updating the AL West standings coming into play today. Mariners in danger of falling 4.5 back as the Astros lead that game in the 8th inning. And A's trying to
pick up their 76th win of the year. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they shut out Cleveland and Houston on the road in July. There was the finale in Cleveland on July 8th, and then the opener in Houston. And both of them were shutouts for Oakland. Last time they posted back-to-back shutouts. Andrews takes a good breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2. Now I could read those lips. That was low, and he might have a pretty good argument. That curveball, though, just kind of fell out of the sky. One and two. Another breaking ball popped up, foul ground, and Olsen is there. And so there it is, a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Trevino finishes it off, and it's another shutout for Oakland, 6-0. It's another home run for Chris Davis as he continues to haunt the Rangers. And so now tomorrow the Rangers need a win to avoid the sweep. Well, stay with us. Dana Larson, Mike Bassick, and Mark McLemore will have all the player reactions and breakdown from this one tonight. For Tom Grieve, Leslie McCaslin, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Still more Rangers coverage coming right after this.